Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Kym Balthazar, and this is my very first episode of, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. It's either going to be Goals and Gains or it's going to be Creative Compass. I'm not sure. I'm going to poll my Instagram subscriber group and see what they think, and whatever thumbnail you guys are seeing is what the consensus was. So the reason that I wanted to do this is I wanted some creative accountability. So this will be like a weekly check-in to see what goals I'm going to set for the upcoming week and what goals I accomplished this past week. So I don't know. I'm not very good at these. Sometimes I have all these grandiose ideas and I tend not to stick with them sometimes because another grandiose idea comes into my head. So we'll see. We'll see. I have good intentions. It's brand new year. I feel like these creative juices are really flowing, and I think this would be a nice way to keep them going. So I hope you guys stick with me. This is episode 1. Let's see how it goes. So we're going to give it a try. So last year in 2024, I started to do some journaling, and it was more, I don't know. It was divided up into a couple different sections. And if you guys, if anyone out there follows, I think his name is Clark Kentley. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But he had a system where he does journaling and it's divided up into sections. So I had like art job, day job, manifestations, because I'm kind of into that, relationships, and improvements. So I divided all those up, and I actually did stick with it. I started this back in July, and I think it was very helpful for me. So this year I found, I was doing a little bit of research. I was going to get the same journal that I had last year, but I found this one that I think is going to be really helpful. So, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. So, just I'm learning how to use this book on the fly, on my own. So it's called Get Stuff Done. So let's see if it helps me get stuff done. So it's divided up into sections. So I just opened this today, so I'm not very far into it, but it has, let's see. It starts out with like your 10-year goal, your 10-year plan. We're not going to call them goals. We're going to call them the plan. What do I want to see myself being 10 years from now? And I have some pretty good ideas, and I'm pretty sure I can make them happen. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes. And it has a space for your vision board, which is always cool. And I haven't started working on mine yet for this year, but it'll be on my to-do list. Not quite yet, because you guys will know in a couple minutes what I'm really working on. But then it has 4 goals to really look at in order to achieve that 10-year plan. And this is only a 13-week journal. So you'll see how it's divided up. 13 weeks, and then I got a new one. So I thought it was good. It would give me a chance to see, do I like this book? Do I like this format? Am I going to stick to it? There's a year at a glance. So it has all the months if you want to go in and fill, what you want to accomplish per month. And then it has these monthly divider pages. I don't know if you can see it. I think it's going to blur it out. Anyway, take my word for it. It's a monthly divider. So you can fill in, what's today? Sunday the 5th. And I'm starting today, so I do 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So it could be for any month that you want to use. And then it has a weekly section, and that's what this vlog will be. Like it's going to be like my weekly studio notes. Oh, maybe that's a name I'll go with. I don't know. So anyway, I was working on that today. And each week it's divided into sections. So it has last week review, and then what lessons did I learn? How will I improve? Goals for the week. And then how you think you're going to make it like a great fun week, or, something like that. Try or learn something new habits, and then it's divided into projects. So whatever you want to accomplish this week, for me anyway, they become a project, and then I have notes on how I'm going to achieve them. So for last week, I didn't really get a whole lot of art done just because it was New Year's. I was out of town, but I did do some work because I am rebranding a little bit. So I don't know if you guys have followed me for a little bit. I'm going back to my original art name, which is Kym Balthazar, and I will no longer be going by KB Fetzko. So it took a while to come to this decision, and I was going back and forth on it. It's scary. I spent the last, I don't know, 5 years, four and a half years working on KB Fetzko. And that's, where I grew my oil and cold wax paintings from, like that side of my business. And yeah, so to go back and change the name, I don't know, very scary. But it does feel more authentic to the artist that I've become. It's kind of like going back to my artistic roots a little bit, and the excitement that came along with that. And I lost that along the way in the last 15, 20 years, 15 years. I was an illustrator. If you don't know my story, I was a freelance illustrator for about 25 years. And the business changed. A lot of the alt weeklies or magazines that I worked for, newspapers, either went under. They started doing stock photography or illustrations, or now everything, you can just go into Canva and make it. So yeah, it's definitely a changing industry. And if you're not like the top tier echelon of illustrators, which I was pretty consistent with my work, but I would never consider myself like top tier. You're not gonna have much work. So I started, I went back to the oil and cold wax painting. Oh, actually, I went back to abstract painting. Oil and cold wax is new, but I've been, loving it, and I built this business off of KB Fetzko. So to go back to the Kym Balthazar, very challenging. There's a lot of work involved with it. Think about it. You have all your social media. You have your website. You have business cards. All of that. All of that needs to be, a new logo. It all has to be redesigned. And as much as I love doing that stuff, I really do. I built a couple other websites for people. You should see my rig right now. It's like, I'm into all this techie stuff. I love it. But it's a lot of work. And I want to paint. Basically, that's like what I want to bring to you guys. I want you guys to learn about painting. I want you to see me paint. Keeps me going. Like, your enthusiasm is what keeps me motivated to keep doing what I do. So anyway, so there's a risk of losing some recognition. But I said, you know what? F it. I'm just going to go for it. We'll see what happens. And yeah. And it's funny because I have reconnected with some people who remember me by Kym Balthazar and doing the illustration. And that's been really cool. So anyway, back to the week ahead. Let's see. So last week's review, I did, I created a new logo, which I really like, and I will unveil that soon. I think you guys will really like it. And I made some progress on the website. I had initially hoped to have it launched, with the beginning of the year. We're going to be a couple weeks behind, but that's okay, because I don't want to rush it. I want it to be perfect. I want to feel comfortable with it. I want to make sure everything is working as it should. And yeah, I don't want to release it before it's time. So that baby's still cooking. And I had, the last week review, last night I had my very first guest in the new studio space. So that was really cool. Some of my friends came over and yeah, we had a nice time. So that was last week. My goals for this week, and it's funny because right now it is, I don't know, I think it's like 6 o'clock. I had planned to be done filming by 2. But my new setup that I have, I have an external hard drive, I have all this stuff, a new microphone. I was trying to set everything up together, and of course I was running into snags. So that took a couple hours to figure out, different components to it and how to get it all working seamlessly. but I did it. And then I was like, should I even film tonight? Maybe I should. No, we're going to do, that's why we're going to try and at least stick to this a little bit. A little bit. No, we're going to stick to it a lot. That's the goal, Kimberly. That's the goal. All right. So my goals for this week are to record my Cool Kids exclusive. So if you guys are unaware and you don't follow me over on Instagram, I do have a subscriber group. They're called the Cool Kids because that's what they are. And I record a video for them once a month, which is a little bit more in depth than what I do here on YouTube. On YouTube, I just usually do the time-lapse paintings. These are a little bit more in depth. So I try to release one of those a month. I used to do weekly like Q&As, like live Q&As, but that got a little tricky with my schedule. So right now I do one live session the last week of the month, I believe. And I have to check my schedule. Well, I will have it written in here soon. So, and then I do the first Tuesday of the month, I like to release a video that's just for them. And yeah, so I wanted to film that today. That didn't happen. But it is only Sunday. I will get this to them on Tuesday. So tomorrow evening, film that, work on the editing. It's minimal editing and upload it so that they get it fresh on Tuesday. So if you want to be a part of that, go over to Instagram, become a subscriber. It's like $5 a month. Yeah. And I think you'll get something out of it. I get stuff out of it. You know, it's just a great group of people and very supportive of one another. And they're just a great sounding board for things that I'm working on. You know, they give me ideas. We have color challenges. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then finish the product pages on my website. So like, you know, my paintings for sale, what I have available. I want to get that switched over from my site now. My site now is still working, by the way. If anyone's interested in going over, it's kbfetzko.com. And then I like to schedule like my week out for my social media posts. I tend to do it on a Sunday. Today that didn't happen, so that needs to happen tomorrow. So we'll see. And if you guys do this on a regular basis, it takes a lot of time to do these, you know, Instagram posts, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels. I use recycled things over on TikTok. I'm really not, you know, I don't focus on TikTok. They get the leftovers. But yeah, so just between those two, and then, you know, my Facebook page, it does, you know, populate over to there. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. So that is usually on my schedule for Sundays. Like I said, it didn't happen today, but those are my 3 goals. The Cool Kids exclusive, finish the product pages on the website, and the social media posts. So those 3. So it says how I'll make this week great or fun. So I wrote, and I'm sorry, I have to reference my notes here, but this week I'm diving into recording a brand new Cool Kids exclusive video, then channeling that momentum into wrapping up my product pages on my new website, and then, oh, on a side note, like a personal thing, I want to make movement more of a priority. The last couple months with my move and everything, my like yoga routine really got thrown off. I used to do kettlebell workouts pretty frequently. So yeah, that all got like pushed aside. So I want to get back into doing that. I know everybody does like the beginning of the year, you know, let's get fit kind of thing. But I mean, I do it most of the year. So I just need to get back on that schedule. So I did do yoga yesterday, was going to do a kettlebell today. That didn't happen. I mean, there's still time. It might happen. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty up now. So we'll see. And then, you know, do that 2 or 3 times this week. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Let's see. And then it's just broken down into how I will make these things happen. And yeah. So I thought this was going to be a pretty short video. It's like, we're into like the 14th minute. Yeah. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this a little bit, at least, and I hope you come back next week. These should be posting every Sunday. We'll see. I am going to try my best, and that's all I can do. So All right, I wish you guys a great and creative week, and I will see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.